Look at that. This is cornflower. Hi everyone, so I'm back in the garden. It's raining on and off, but I wanted to show you all my winter sowing jugs while I'm in the break of kind of cleaning up some of the garden. There's a lot of things to do here, so I'm just trying to tackle things little by little, but I'm excited because I have so much updates to give you guys on the winter sowing jugs. So let me show you. Here are my winter sowing jugs that I sowed around the end of January as well as in early February. There are more than 20 containers. I feel like I went a little bit overboard, but I do want beautiful flowers, and I did grow a lot of things from seed inside, but I wanted to have a bunch of stuff that are extras that I can plant around the garden, really fill it up, and also do my aunt's garden. So let's take a look at some of the things that are growing inside the winter sowing containers. As you can see, I use different kind of containers. These were takeout containers, and this one is Sweet William, and I sowed this on February 7th. There's a little condensation in there. But look at that. I'm actually gonna start to plant out a bunch of these things into the landscape because these can handle frost, so they'll be okay if I plant them out. And the good thing about winter sowing is that they're slightly acclimated to the outside temps, so they can handle the transplant better than ones that you grew inside. This one is cornflower. Left was Blue Boy, right was Red Boy, and this was on January 26th. And if you can see, these are ready to go. Let me open it up and let you see how much they've grown. Look at that. And as you can see, I kind of put a division there so I know which one is which. And this has a lot of growth. I'm actually going to transplant this as well because last year I waited a bit and they melted inside of the container because they got too hot, and they're a cool season flower. Okay, so here we have some lupine. This is Blue Bonnet, Sundial lupine on the left, and then we have Tutti Frutti mix that's on the right. We have some alyssum. This is, let's see, alyssum Carpet of Snow. And then we have some poppies that don't look so hot, but we're gonna plant them out anyways. We have the star of the show, obviously, the cornflower. We have, what is this here? Sweet William. And this is a Dollar Tree mix. Then we have Sweet William Lace Mantle. We have Straw Flower, Silvery Rose. We have some Forget-Me-Nots, Bellamy Blue, and we have Bluebird. And then we have some Arugula. And this is ready to get planted out as well. So there's plenty more winter sowing containers that have a lot of life in them, but I want to let them grow out a little bit more before I plant them into the garden. These definitely are ready to go into the ground. Alright, so in back of me is my dahlia garden, which I am kind of converting into a perennial bed and mixed with dahlias. So I just want to have interest all year round. I have an elderberry. I have a couple of winged everlasting that is an annual. What else do I have? I have a lot of hardy hibiscus. I have some blackberry bushes in here, and it's just like a mix. I want fruits, I want you know, flowers, dahlias. I want it all in this kind of garden. This is the garden that a lot of my guests can see when I used to have a pool, which is directly in back of the camera, and it's being taken down. So this space is solely going to be for like getting together and just enjoying the views of the gardens. I have my vegetable garden back here, and then to this side, which is in back of me, is the dahlia / perennial garden bed. So I'm going to plant out some of the winter sowing jugs in here. So it obviously needs a lot of work. This is a Rose of Sharon that has been here since we moved in, and there's a little path. Please excuse, those are some of the stakes that I use to give the dahlia support. And then if you can see here, there's a lot of hardy hibiscus planted in the front of the garden. There are some little ponds that I use for water plants and lilies. There's hydrangeas, and so it's just like a little corner where I fill it up with dahlias and beautiful flowers. There's an elderberry back there. Ooh, there's an elderberry leafing out, and there's a rose that I want to move all the way up there to down here. But yeah, it is a work in progress. So the first thing that I'm going to plant out here is the cornflower, red boy and blue boy. I think it'll look cute to have little groups of them throughout this garden. And sorry about the sun, I'm also going to plant out some Sweet William that I got from Dollar Tree. I also have this clematis Montana Fragrant Spring from Brushwood Nursery that I want to plant underneath my Rose of Sharon back there. It's huge, and this clematis actually can grow up to 30 feet or maybe like 20 feet or something like that. But I think that it would be a great addition. It has beautiful pink flowers, and it'll bring some interest at a later time after the Rose of Sharon blooms. And hopefully the Rose of Sharon can shade its roots, and it'll climb to the top of the Rose of Sharon to really produce those flowers and reach for the sun. So let's do that as well. Let's mix it up. So right is red boy. So I already have my holes kind of already digging up. Let's see, I think maybe it'll be best if I take this whole container, flip it upside down. Look at all this. Look at all of the roots this has. Beautiful. So you flip it up like that, and that way I can just separate it by chunks. So this is one right here. Ooh. And I'm just going to plant them in clumps like this. I feel like that will disturb the roots a lot less, and it's survival of the fittest. Let's keep this pattern going in the next location. Straw flowers next, and I'm going to spread this in my front garden. Again, I like to turn the winter sowing jug upside down. You can see the roots, and just plant them in clumps. everyone. So I am at my aunt's house and I am actually going to plant up some things in some pots that they have that need some refreshing and need to be emptied out. They really don't know too much about just, you know, the plant world. So they really wanted me to get out here and do a little bit of work for them. And I'm excited because I have a lot of things that needed to go here because I hoard a lot of plants. But I'm going to show you what I brought over and the pots and what is going to happen with them. Okay, so I have some pansies that I bought, and I have a couple of rudbeckia brandies. I have mum that I'm gonna plant out in their landscape as well. I have a couple of stock and some tulips, some alyssum that I grew by seed. Again, I have some rudbeckia here, and I have some salvia and some snapdragons that are all over. So I'm excited to plant those out into their pots in the landscape. Here are the pots. There's 4 of them, and they had a hydrangea in a pot that I just recently, it was kind of pushing out, so I ended up repotting it into this pot a little bit deeper, and I put a daffodil and a couple of violas that I grew by seed. I'm going to also fill it up with some alyssum, and same way here, I'm going to put some of the violas in stock, and that's some of my soil that I brought over. So yeah, here my cousin brought me some coffee, and I am ready to go. It's a little windy out, but this is a finished product. We have some pansies, some tulips, and I planted alyssum all around. I have, well, they had a mum here that is returning, so that will take over the container eventually. And so I buried that over here. I have the stock and snapdragons and a couple of tulips. It's a little rough right now, but we're just gonna wait till things grow in. Creams is finally getting a new pair, well, several friends.